long descent that takes them to within 750 metres of the range. But that climb into the range, Mike, is fairly brutal and has determined the results of quite a few races here in Russia.
Yes, get that hill wrong, and it does, we have seen, affect the outcome on the shooting range at times. Not all the time, but at times.
So the top 30 essentially in the world entitled to enter, although those on form here in Khanty have got a start list, and chops and changes as some people decided they're not well enough to race. We'll bring you the updated start sheet in a moment as the athletes make their way to the start line. What we can guarantee is that Martin Fourcade is there. He'll be wearing the yellow and the red bib ahead of Svensson, who wears two. Jakub Fak, who's had a fantastic season for Slovenia, third in the World Cup rankings. He'll need a decent result today just to ensure that he stays there. Further down the order, Simon Fourcade, who had a great podium run yesterday, starts number 25, and Christoph Suman, who won yesterday, goes wearing bib number 26.
Great performance from Christoph Suman, fourth in the sprint race, took the victory yesterday, hitting all the targets. The snow, Patrick, for those, or for the athlete to lead around here, has been snowing now. Not that many people skiing on the track, so maybe a little slower out front, although they'll all be fighting to get out front early.
Well, you certainly don't want to be further back than the front 10, and if you're lucky enough to be on the front row at the start, you just want to secure a position there. There's Tim Burke, who goes on the left-hand side of the lane, just skiing in his start. Once he gets to the end of that cut track, then he can break to the inside. But if you want a good lane, that's a good move, isn't it, from the American, Mike? I know it's only 30-40 metres, but it could make that crucial metres difference when they all group together.
I like that, and as in all sport, the small margins make a difference when everybody is this good, the best 30 in the world. Great to see Björn Dahlin in the background behind Shipulin. Björn Dahlin 25th in this race last year, and he will be wanting to end on a high.
Well, he's had a lean period by his standards. I've just calculated 399 days since he last had a win, which, as you'll remember, Mike, was in Kontiolahti last year, a pursuit event, which he's so good at. He's good at the head-to-heads, but 399 days. Wouldn't it be fantastic if he stopped it being 400 and he got his next win here to take it on to a total of 95 World Cup victories?
That'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? Bernbacher looking relaxed if he hopefully shoots on the correct lane today.
Yes, there was a little bit of confusion. Those of you watching the pursuit yesterday, Bernbacher shot on Michael Schlesinger's targets of the Czech Republic. Schlesinger was very quick to put his hand up and say, I need my targets reloaded. They took an absolute age to sort it out. The solution, well, they gave Schlesinger third place, but they didn't bump Martin Fourcade off the podium. They gave them both third place and the points for third place yesterday. Your opinion on that one?
It's a very unusual scenario for the top athletes to get it wrong like that, but it happens. I think it was a fair way to deal with the difficulties they had.
It was a diplomatic way to deal with it. I'm not sure it's fair, because Martin Fourcade should be aware that someone might get penalty seconds at the end, and therefore taking it easy on the last lap just because the guy behind you isn't going to catch you is not always a good idea. Well, the snow coming down, they don't need it at this is when they want the sunshine, but they had a taste of spring in Oslo. We had some glorious conditions there. Sochi, we had one day of fantastic conditions, and then it deteriorated day by day, so they got a taste of everything. Here in Khanty-Mansijsk, it's been cold, and now the last couple of days it's been snowing fairly heavily, so tough tracks, hard going for the last race of the season. The best 30 biathletes in the world lined up, and if that wasn't a full start by Martin Fourcade, I don't know what was, but they won't be called back at this stage, and they're underway. The last 15 kilometres to ski, 20 targets to hit. Who will come out on top? Will it be Fourcade, who is out and out the world #1 at the moment, or will it be Svensson, who was the golden boy of the World Championships?
There's going to be certainly to end this season, and then leading into the Olympic season, there'll be a little bit of niggle. There's always the ego at stake here, and I do wonder about Martin Fourcade. For the first time yesterday, missing 5 out of 20 in his pursuit race. We do not often see him making those mistakes, and will he turn it around today, getting 20 out of 20? He probably will.
Well, I hope you didn't waste any money putting it on Fourcade to win that pursuit, having started 40 seconds clear of everyone else. It was astonishing how quickly it turned around. He missed one in the first shoot, one in the second, one in the third. Suddenly, he found himself back in the pack and out of the race. It was a fascinating race, and just shows that at this level, you have to stay 100% focused. You can't be complacent in any way at all.
No, not at all. Interesting what Shapulin has done there. He's gone to the front. He's tried to slow it down. It is quite slow. I think they're all happy that this first 3 kilometres should be slow, and then the race starts after the first time into the prone shoot.
Well, guess who's moved to the front? Uliana Bjorndalen, sensing that maybe this is his chance. These conditions suit. He hasn't had many victories here, Mike. He's only had 3, which is more than most, but by his standards, it's not very many. But the soft snow certainly suits him because he has that floating technique. I'm just wondering whether the hills are a little bit too long for his abilities at the moment.
And 15 kilometres, he's been great over the first 2.5s or 3.3, sorry, in the 10 kilometres, and the second 3.3, fading a little in the final 3.3. So as the races progress, he's dropped off a little in relation to the best.
Well, a number of you asking who's retiring this year. Christoph Suman was the only one who was talking about it that we heard of, but after his success yesterday, of course, taking the win, he's completely revised his plans, and he's now hoping that he qualifies for the Austrian team for Sochi next year. That means he'll be in full-time training throughout the summer.
Interesting, and to turn it around in one day, why not? Although he did say in the interviews at Hochfilzen in December, look how slow this is, it's pedestrian. He did say that, well, the young lads are coming in and I'll keep trying to fight, and I'm enjoying the biathlon. If I stop enjoying it, I will finish. And he did get sent to the IBU Cup, so the second division. Didn't really enjoy that, but he was still doing well. And brought back in here, and he's won a World Cup.
Yeah, credit to him. He starts on the 3rd row today, which is a little bit of a disadvantage for Suman, but at this pace, might be worth trying to work your way through. Good start from Fourcade. One day those poles are going to break, and he'll find himself in an embarrassing situation. But it's good balance to be able to take 100% of your weight through the poles and get the skis off the floor, accelerating forwards.
He's just got an amazing sense of movement, and everything about Martin Fourcade is almost as perfect as I think we've ever seen. That the human body can master this weird combination of pushing hard and then really accurate shooting.
Well, talking about accurate shooting, the mass starts this season have seen some phenomenal shooting. 4 races, Bernbacher, Fourcade, Bo and Morovets, the 4 winners. The winner on 3 occasions has shot the perfect 20, which is a much higher hit percentage than we've seen in the pursuit. Is that just by chance, or do you think there's something in there?
I'm surprised. There's Urus Velopets probably trying to help Fak out there. There's something going on. I can't explain that. I would have thought it would be the other way about. Although the pursuit, those chasing are having to work that little harder in a sense, but they'll be, if you perform badly in the first shoot, you're then chasing again. Yeah,
but if you skied like this in a pursuit, you'd be 3 minutes behind the leaders but before you got to the range for the first time. So I think you're absolutely right, Mike. I think that the nature of the pursuit makes those behind take risks, and it puts pressure on those in front who have got so much to lose if they make mistakes. There just seems to be that intensity in the pursuit that you don't always get in the mass start until, of course, we get to the very final shoot. Well, this snow is getting thicker and thicker. Don't tell me this is going to be snowed off like similar situations we had at the European Championships. And we promised we'd tell our viewers why the big names don't always go to the Europeans, or seldom go to the Europeans.
Yeah, well, in this case, it was just shortly after the real biathlon world championships, and the athletes who did the 5 or the 6 races there, it was too much to do 2 majors within 8 days of each other, and I think that was the main reason. They'd had enough. They'd done their major competition of the season, and they needed a break mentally and physically.
Well, to prepare for the final stages of the World Cup as well. I think it's
Oslo, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a big ask. Just remember, they have 26 individual races to complete in the season.
Someone else's ski pole, Russians must have broken or snapped part of it.
I wonder if that's Malishko who's got problems.
That's losing a lot of time. I
think that was Alexei Slepov, who's number 30, just managed to squeak into the qualification. When they're skiing as slowly as this, they're much more likely to get a break, and it won't have been him, it will have been someone skiing alongside him who just clicked his pole with the front of their ski, and it just snaps like a twiglet.
So Faka's had a problem, Slepov's had a problem.
Now, they used to, I know Swix, or was it XL, who came out with a pole that had an extra layer of carbon down the bottom of the pole to make that section much stronger, just to avoid that situation.
Just made it that little bit heavier, didn't it? It's when you swung the pole, you could feel it through your arms, and especially after this kind of distance, 15 kilometers a day. Slepov losing a lot of time there. Well, putting him to the back.
Yeah, but he's going to be in lane 30 for the first shoot anyway, so maybe they've done him a favour. I don't think too much damage done in that situation. The world number one moves to the front, where you'd expect him to see him. Maybe Martin Fourcade is going to try what he tried in the pursuit and take the pace into the range for the first time, much faster than at any other time on the first lap. And here he goes. He's going to challenge them yet again.
He's amazing. So he thought, right, this is too slow. It's not hurting me at all. I need to try and make the others hurt a little.
Well, watch the time gaps now, because that sudden injection of speed from Martin Fourcade, instead of everyone being within 4.5 seconds, the time margin, I think, is almost doubled or more. Suman in 16th, down 6 seconds behind. Lesser in 20th position. Lau Bailey of the USA, 21. And we've got time for one more email, which I can't find at the moment, but I know it was wanting to know what skills the biathletes have other than biathlon. And everyone knows about Sukalova, who can sing, and Lau Bailey it is who can play the guitar, not Tim Burke from the USA. They don't get a lot of time to perfect. I tell you what they are all good at, and that's languages.
That's so true, and and they've been to the sports schools, most of them, which gives an excellent education and full-time sport from a young age, so their education is excellent. You're right, Fourcade has done it again. He's broken the field to dictate how he wants to play this. Was it sensible?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. He missed a shot last time round, and he missed the first shot on both occasions in the Pro. And I think he might take an extra couple of seconds to prepare for his first shot today. Partly, well, he has lane one anyway by the virtue of his bib number.